I'm not no killer. I'm not no murderer. I'm not no bad person. And a lot of people, honestly...
Tonight, Raymond Childs III is maintaining his innocence.
But still, he is going to prison for 360 years for murdering 6 of his family members. These are deadly shootings that happened more than 4 years ago inside the family home that's located here in Indianapolis out on the east side.
Rich Nye takes us into the courtroom to hear from the families destroyed by this mass murder.
Raymond Childs III was just 17 years old in January 2021 when 6 people were shot and killed inside this home on Adams Street. A jury convicted Childs in October of murdering his parents, his 13-year-old sister, his 18-year-old brother, and his brother's 19-year-old almost full-term pregnant girlfriend. A 15-year-old brother who ran out of the house was shot twice but survived.
I cannot comprehend the darkness in your heart at that time that led you to commit such an unfortunate act on January 24th. What I do know is that our lives changed forever on this date, and you robbed us of everything we had.
Childs told the families in a packed courtroom that he is not the killer.
Just as I sit here 4 years ago, I'm innocent. It's not a day that goes by where I don't think about them or wish that they was here. Even on my bad days, I tell myself that they're still here.
The judge called the murders calculated, cunning, and cold-blooded, sending Childs to prison for the rest of his life. So the 360-year prison sentence breaks down like this: 55 years for each of the 6 people murdered, including the unborn baby, and 30 years for the attempted murder of Raymond Childs' 15-year-old brother.
The evidence in this case could fairly be characterized as overwhelming. There was cell phone evidence, he was caught with the murder weapon, and most compellingly, his own brother identified him in open court. And it would have been nice if he had expressed some remorse about what happened.
Everything that he said, I believe. So, I don't too much believe justice was served, but I do hope that they do find the real people that did it.
The justice system decided he did it. Rich Nye, 13 News.
And Childs plans to appeal his conviction. During testimony today, a doctor said that Childs suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder due to a childhood filled with complex trauma from abuse and domestic violence.
The people killed in that mass shooting on the northeast side of Indianapolis.
Well, Jenny, tonight, family, friends, and neighbors are left grieving and trying to process this horrific mass murder.
6 family members, 1 gun, a single survivor. What could make a teenager turn on his own family in cold blood? This is the haunting case of Raymond Childs III, a story that left an entire community asking, why? On a freezing January night in 2021, Indianapolis was rocked by an act of violence so shocking that even seasoned investigators struggled to make sense of it. A 17-year-old boy, known to friends as a rising rapper, was accused of killing his father, stepmother, siblings, and even an unborn baby. But what led to this unthinkable act? Was it years of tension boiling over, or something darker lurking beneath the surface? Today, we're diving deep into the tragic case of Raymond Childs III to uncover the chilling details of what happened and why. The Childs family appeared to be like any other. Churchgoers, a close-knit household, navigating the ups and downs of raising teenagers. Raymond Childs II, the father, was known for his discipline, a man who believed in setting high standards for his children. But behind closed doors, tensions were rising, especially with 17-year-old Raymond III, the oldest son. Raymond wasn't just a high schooler. He had ambitions of becoming a rapper, spending hours working on his craft. But as his dreams grew, so did the pressure from his father, who wanted him to focus on school and responsibilities at home. The once respectful relationship between father and son had deteriorated into arguments and resentment. By January 24, 2021, the tension reached its breaking point, and what followed was a tragedy that left 6 people dead and a neighborhood in shock. The Childs family lived in a quiet Indianapolis neighborhood. Raymond Childs II, the father, worked hard to provide for his family. His wife, Kezzy, was described as warm and nurturing, a woman who held the family together. They had 6 children, including Xavier, 15, and Rita, 13. On the surface, the Childs were seen as a typical American family. They attended church regularly, shared meals together, and supported each other. But family friends would later reveal cracks in this picture-perfect image. Raymond III often felt burdened by his father's strict rules. While his younger siblings mostly followed their parents' expectations, Raymond felt suffocated. He wanted freedom to pursue his music career, but his father had other plans. In the days leading up to the tragedy, neighbors recalled hearing loud arguments coming from the Childs' home. One argument in particular, just hours before the killings, was described as explosive. It centered around Raymond's defiance and his father's frustration over his choices. Friends of Raymond III said he had been increasingly distant. His music, which once had a hopeful tone, had grown darker, reflecting anger and frustration. Still, no one could have imagined what was to come. At around a.m. on January 24, 2021, the Childs family's home turned into a nightmare. According to surviving accounts, Raymond III entered his parents' bedroom with a firearm. He shot his father, Raymond II, and stepmother, Kezzy, while they were still in bed. The gunshots woke the rest of the family. One by one, Raymond targeted his siblings. His 18-year-old brother, Elijah, and Elijah's pregnant girlfriend, Kiara Hawkins, were shot next. His 13-year-old sister, Rita, was also killed. The only survivor was 15-year-old Xavier. Despite being shot, he managed to escape, running through the freezing streets to a neighbor's house. Covered in blood, he cried out, "My brother shot my whole family." Xavier's survival was a critical turning point in the investigation. He provided police with a detailed account of what happened, identifying Raymond III as the shooter. Authorities were stunned. How could a teenager commit such a brutal crime against his own family? Xavier's bravery didn't stop there. Despite his injuries, he gave a description of Raymond's appearance and the weapon he used. This information set off a citywide manhunt. Raymond III was arrested later that day, not far from the crime scene. When police found him, he was calm, almost emotionless. This lack of remorse shocked investigators. During questioning, Raymond refused to explain his actions. His silence left everyone wondering, was this a moment of rage, or had he planned the murders? As news of the tragedy spread, the community struggled to make sense of it. Vigils were held to honor the victims, and neighbors came together to support Xavier, now an orphan. The Childs family's home, once a place of warmth and life, became a grim reminder of what happened. Friends and classmates of Raymond III expressed disbelief. Many described him as quiet, talented, and respectful. But as more details emerged, it became clear that the pressures in his life had taken a dark toll. The investigation revealed years of tension between Raymond and his father. Neighbors recalled hearing frequent arguments, with Raymond often storming out of the house. His music lyrics, which had grown increasingly violent, were examined as possible evidence of his mindset leading up to the crime. In court, prosecutors painted a picture of premeditation. They argued that Raymond had planned the attack after his father confronted him about his behavior. Meanwhile, the defense pointed to his age and mental state, suggesting he was overwhelmed by family expectations and unresolved anger. Despite his young age, Raymond was tried as an adult. The evidence against him was overwhelming, from Xavier's testimony to the weapon found in Raymond's possession. When the verdict was announced, the courtroom was silent. Raymond III was found guilty of 6 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. The judge, visibly emotional, sentenced him to life in prison without parole. For Xavier, the only survivor, the sentencing was bittersweet. Justice had been served, but it couldn't bring back his family. The story of Raymond Childs III is a devastating reminder of how unchecked anger and broken family dynamics can lead to tragedy. It's a case that leaves us with more questions than answers. Could this have been prevented? Were there warning signs that went unnoticed? While the trial has ended, the pain for those left behind continues. Xavier, now without his parents and siblings, faces a lifetime of healing. And the community of Indianapolis, once shaken to its core, continues to reflect on the lessons this tragedy holds. Subscribe for more true crime stories like this one.